Hi legends, welcome back. This is a very different video for me, very different. It's not a different setting, you've seen this backdrop before, but I just wanted to have like a really chill sit down together and just talk about this issue that's kind of been on my mind for a little bit now. It's not like life or death. You've seen the title, you know what you're clicking in for, but I think it's something a lot of us can relate to. And a lot of us have been thinking about, possibly, if you are like a fangirl or anyone that enjoys going to concerts. I just kept thinking, to myself, how have concert tickets gotten this expensive recently? And I just wanted to talk to you all about it, so we're doing that today. Yes, this is very low quality for me, it's not on my camera, we're just doing this on my iPad. I just wanted it to be so chill, and I'm sitting on the floor and it's actually really comfy and I'm enjoying this. But yeah, so how have concert tickets gone from £38.50 to £80 excluding fees in just 1 year? Something needs to change. It breaks my heart that concerts have become so unaffordable recently. Breaks my bank too. But after COVID, tickets seem to soar in price to an unimaginable amount sometimes. Pre-pandemic, I was probably paying around like £45 maybe max for a concert ticket. Those were the good days. I mean, I did go see My Chemical Romance. I bought the ticket pre-pandemic. It was expensive, but this was their reunion tour, after 10 years of being no longer a band, and they had so much history before that, and this was at a stadium, and the ticket cost me £83 for pitch standing. That was pretty reasonable for a stadium and for a band that had been going that long, and for a reunion tour kind of thing. But prices now have risen so high, it's just unfathomable to a little bit of an extent. It honestly feels like they're taking the mick these days for some of these concert ticket prices. There is no reason why an obstructed view ticket should cost anything more than, like, let's say £60 to £80, and that's me still being generous, okay? I don't think it should cost more than 40 or 50 really for an obstructed view ticket where you're not going to get the best experience. In my professional opinion, I also don't think a regular standing ticket for an arena or a normal venue should cost anything more than £45. I think that should be like the baseline, for maybe the max end of concert tickets. And I hate this new thing now where you have to almost pay extra just to be in the pit to guarantee like a good view of the first 5 rows. It's just so rude. It's a playground for the rich. We're gatekeeping a whole section just for rich people, and it sucks. I don't like it and I don't want it. Yes, this is all spawned because recently I went to buy tickets for the Guts World Tour, Olivia Rodrigo's second tour. Yes, I got tickets. I can't complain about that. I'm very happy I got tickets and I'm really excited for the concert. Like, don't get that twisted, don't get that wrong. Yes, I love a girly, I love her music, but do I love the new ticket prices? No. There's no way in my mind you can justify going from £38 tickets last year to £80 tickets this year. Again, that's excluding fees. With fees, my Olivia Rodrigo regular pitch standing ticket cost me £93, or it was £94, but basically same thing at this point. So almost £100 for just a regular ticket, no VIP, just standing. It's not even in the pit. This is just regular standing, because pit was a whole different price. I also think this price is just taking the mick because I love Olivia Rodrigo, but she's such a new artist. She only has her second album out just now, and she's only got one other tour under her belt, so I don't understand how they're charging such high prices for such a new artist. It's just they're losing the plot a bit, I think. I'm losing the plot a bit paying these prices. Whilst I was on the Ticketmaster website for the Guts tour, in like trying to get myself tickets and my friends tickets, which I successfully did, but it did break my bank account. On there though, I saw the VIP general admission pit tickets, and this package was being sold for like around, I think, £270. I'll put a screenshot up if I have it, if I can find one. And this ticket, yes, it's VIP, but it was just general admission, and all it got you was like you could take a photo with this Guts World Tour backdrop, and you got early access into the venue, and I'm pretty sure there's like maybe 2 or 3 other things with it, but it didn't really, in my eyes, it wasn't worthy of that £270 price that they were putting up it for. To put this into perspective, back in 2013, 2012, I paid around that same price, if not a little less, for Selena Gomez's concert, the Stars Dance Tour. And yes, I know this is like a decade ago now, but for that price I was able to meet Selena Gomez, attend her show, get like a merch bag with goodies and everything, and I got a good seat in the venue. Yeah, and all of that for the same price, if not less, of just a pit standing ticket that's going to guarantee you maybe a good view in the first couple rows. What I really don't like about this whole thing though is it's absolutely insane to me to think that if you want to get front row at these concerts, you now have to pay these unreasonable prices just to get the chance of being up close to your favourite performer. And I don't think it's reasonable to expect people to have to fork out these large sums of money just for a good concert experience. It's just going to result as well in rich people getting these tickets instead of like the actual fans. And I don't know why artists would want to do this to their fan bases. Other tickets for the UK shows cost around like £64 for seat tickets. They said that, but I feel like they probably just sold like one ticket for that price so they could put it on like the little Ticketmaster, oh, this is what the tickets cost kind of thing. But I didn't see any available for that price when I was actually on the website trying to get tickets. Most of the seated tickets were at like £110 the minimum, and I think that's even me being nice about it. I'm probably blacking out because it was traumatizing seeing those prices. I also noticed I'd not really seen these before. There were these things called like official platinum tickets, and they ranged from around £150 to £270 or even £280. And they were just regular tickets really for seated people. There wasn't anything special about them. They were just called platinum tickets. And here's why. Yes, there's something behind the platinum tickets. It's not that you're getting a better experience or that you're getting anything with it. What platinum tickets truly are is a code name for dynamic pricing. These tickets aren't special in any way except for the fact that their prices can change and vary. Dynamic pricing was introduced by Ticketmaster in 2011. Basically what it means is tickets could change price depending on demand. So this is the same tool or thing that Uber use. Like, as you know, if you go at a certain time of day, your Uber might be cheaper or more expensive. Basically, this is something as well that artists can apparently opt in for, so it's something they can choose to do. So clearly in this Guts World Tour, Olivia Rodrigo has chosen to do this, but she's not the only artist that has. Taylor Swift, Harry Styles and Drake are also artists that have opted in for the platinum priced tickets. Now, there is an argument to avoid dynamic pricing, you could just wait it out. Like, don't buy the tickets now, wait later. But any true fangirl or fan anyone knows that that's not realistic anymore in this economy, in this world, in this existence. If you see a concert ticket, you need to like take it straight away, otherwise it's going. The concert's going to be sold out. There's no chance for that anymore. So there was like an old fart saying to us younger people on this article that if we wanted to avoid dynamic pricing, to just wait it out, buy a ticket later, like a couple months before the show. But we all know that's just not going to happen. You're going to have to be so lucky to find that one ticket. And if you want to go with someone else, it's going to be even harder to find like 2 or 3 or 4. It's just not realistic. There's no way to avoid these dynamic price tickets, which is really sad because they do take the mick and it's just taking advantage of these fans. And I can't believe all of this is happening in a cost of living crisis. It doesn't feel right. It feels so tone deaf and my bank account is crying, my friends' bank accounts are crying, but we just want to like, live, love, laugh. But at what cost, With all that being said though, the US girlies have it worse, I fear. I've seen some of your prices and it makes me sick. In the US, I've seen some of these weird ass artist registration charity packages. And they're like artist registration charity platinum tickets. And some of these range from $400 to basically $1,000. Yeah, no one knows what these really truly are. They are there. You can buy them. No one wants to buy them. They're like the only tickets that are being left right now because who can afford $800? They even had tickets in the nosebleeds selling for $435. How is this allowed? How? That's what I truly want to know. Who is allowing this? How is this allowed? It is just scamming people at this point. The other thing I struggle with is I don't understand who the intended audience is with these ticket prices. Rich people, yes, but what I'm saying is surely they know that Olivia Rodrigo's audiences are mostly young people who don't have the means to spend that much on a ticket. Yes, they're charity tickets, they're probably expecting rich people to do it, but the real true thing is these people that want to go to Olivia Rodrigo are young, they're not people who can afford a charity ticket, and nor should they be expected to pay that much for a charity ticket. Sure, I get it, some of this money is going to go to charity, a charity that Olivia Rodrigo chooses, I believe, but does it have to be that expensive? Again, the demographic is young people. The target audience is young people. And young people cannot afford $800 for just one ticket. That's without fees as well, may I add, without fees. And I don't want to compare Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's nothing about the two girlies and their talents, it's just about ticket prices. I promise I'm not trying to pit women against each other, because I know it's a whole thing, but in this case, I kind of want to compare their ticket prices. I paid, I believe, £170 or £190 for my Taylor Swift Eras Tour ticket for next year in London, in a stadium, may I add. But it's also a 3-hour concert with Paramore. So I'm not actually that mad about that price. It's like around £60 to £70 each hour of that concert. And I'm getting Paramore, who I'm a huge fan of. So to me, that's actually not too shabby. And I'm in the lower bowl, all for that price. And I feel like I girl bossed it with that one. Well, my friend Molly did. Shout out to Molly. She got me those tickets. So for that price, I'm getting 2 great shows for one concert. So not mad. It still is expensive. I totally understand that's not affordable for everyone. It is truly expensive. But again, it's better to me than paying almost £100 for one ticket for an hour and a half show for someone who is relatively new in the music scene. Still though, this isn't defending Taylor Swift's ticket prices. Some of them are absolute jokes. Because especially the tickets that are like £600, girly. Although they do have the VIP things that you can get with them. Again though, I never think that these VIP packages are really worth it unless you meet the actual artist. Then I think it's a bit more worth it for that experience. Yeah, those £600 Taylor Swift Eras Tours tickets were pricey, and there's nothing you could do to convince me to buy those tickets. Again though, yes, that's really expensive, and I don't think there should ever be tickets at that price. But Taylor Swift is unfathomably famous. She is in her own league. She is on a whole other level. Everyone knows this at this point in time. She has so many albums out. She's constantly breaking records, and she's been around so much longer, and she's really truly paved her own way. So it does make sense for her to charge more in general. Now, that doesn't mean I agree with the ticket prices once again, and how insane they can get. I'm just pointing out, like, some facts here. Another topic I wanted to cover, though, was how a lot of younger people on social media seem to think that these new ticket prices are normal. They seem to think that this is just, like, paying £90 for a ticket should be the norm. And I'm like, no, this isn't the norm. This is not the norm that I grew up with. I know what I grew up with, and it was relatively paying, and it was paying around £45 for a ticket for a concert, and that was, like, the standard. There was nothing that major, and most meet and greets used to be like £150, £200. It was never this insane. I saw as well there was this interesting tweet where this Twitter user was saying about how these Olivia Rodrigo tickets are affordable, they are attainable, and this is a normal price. Turns out that user was 15, so they're probably using mummy and daddy's money. But the other Twitter user was saying, for adults like myself, like them, this isn't the most affordable concert. Some people really can't afford to fork this out. £93 could cover some rent, could cover some bills, could cover some food for that month. So it's really not cheap in the grand scheme of things. I did then want to point out the only band that is affordable at the minute for me is the Driver era. That is Ross Lynch's band, Ross Lynch and Rocky Lynch. I've been seeing them as R5 as well for years. I actually have one of my old concert tickets here when I saw them back in 2014, and it was £17.50, and it's now 2023. I last saw them in 2022 or 2021. And they were only charging £19.50, so they've only gone up £2 in the past, like, 6 years. I'm grateful. I'm really grateful for their ticket prices, and I've always appreciated that about them. And their meet and greets still remain around £150 now, I believe. It used to be £90, those were the good days, but they're now about £150. But again, when I see these other ticket prices, I'm really not complaining anymore about what the Driver era are doing, and I'm really grateful that their normal tickets are just so affordable. I think most people can afford a £20 ticket for a concert. And I think that should be the standard. Sabrina Carpenter also, when I looked at my receipt, I was quite surprised at how relatively cheap these days, compared to other artists these days, her ticket was for her Emails I Can't Send tour in London. I paid around £38, I think, or £33 for my ticket to see her. I think the face value was £28 though, but it was just with fees and everything. But that was really shocking, and I hope she continues on that price market. I don't want her flopping or anything, but I appreciated those prices because I didn't have to break the bank for that concert, and neither did my friends. Besides the point that I've gone on a little ramble, it's just kind of irritating sometimes to see these younger people, and you can't entirely blame them, but it's a bit irritating to see them telling adults that this these ticket prices are normal and this is what should be expected, when it's like, no, we've lived through these other ticket prices. We know what it used to cost and how you didn't have to break the bank for it, and this wasn't the norm, you know? We had more hope. More people could afford them, more people could go. It didn't have to be a rich playground. There is then as well the whole argument that going to a concert is a privilege and it's not something that is a guarantee, it's a luxury. But that doesn't mean ticket prices should be this expensive. I believe ticket prices for concerts should be accessible to everyone. I think everyone should be able to go to a concert. It shouldn't just be like the rich people get to go to concerts. It seems to be going that way now. I believe a mum or a dad should be able to afford to buy tickets to a concert for their kid without breaking the bank. Or that anyone should be able to buy a ticket for a concert without breaking the bank. And it's not fair that only now the rich can afford to go to the front of shows, or you have to save up for a couple months to afford then to go to the front of these shows. Something has to be done. Prices, I'm not asking for them to be drastically lowered, but I just think there needs to be way more affordable options out there for everyone. I know as well Olivia Rodrigo is doing the whole $20 tickets. There's like silver star tickets for her shows, which I appreciate. She's doing something for her fans and trying to get affordable tickets into the hands of fans that can't afford these higher price tickets. But then I question how many are going to be sold at that price. And yes, I'm grateful she's doing something. It's a good start. I'm not taking that away from her. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know how many are being sold at this price. And yes, it's good. I can really acknowledge that. I just wish we didn't always have. I just wish this wasn't a thing where it was ticket prices have gotten so bad now that you have to introduce affordable tickets when some bands are just giving out tickets for that price and it's not seen as like the affordable one, it's just seen as a standard. Then we have to look at ourselves sometimes and be like, am I the problem for buying tickets? There isn't a clear answer. Sure, it would be easy to say if everyone joined hands and we all agreed we're not going to buy tickets for any concerts now until people lower the prices, then that'd be great. We'd make a change, you know, ooh, hold hands, let's do this. That would be ideal. I would actually like that if we could all stand together and just boycott buying tickets until they lowered the prices. But realistically, that's not happening. Not anytime soon. Because, I mean, the power truly is in our hands. If there's no demand for tickets, no one's buying the tickets, then they've no one to sell to, and then the artist has no one to perform to, and then they're kind of stuck in a little fiddle. And then they'd have to listen to their customers because they'd have to lower the price to make it affordable for people to then show up to their concert and buy tickets. And I feel bad these days when I buy tickets, so I feel kind of guilty that I almost like spent this much money on one concert ticket, not even a couple, just for one, almost £100. And I feel guilty as well, like, for doing this to myself, because I'm like, I did this to myself, I've done this to my bank account, and then I feel bad that I fall into this trap of like letting this continuous cycle keep happening, where I'm like, I've paid into this now so they can keep milking us customers for this money and think it's okay. On one hand, yes, I'm complaining about it like right now with all of you, but by buying tickets, I'm also letting it grow and fester. So I can't help but feel as if I'm part of the problem, and I hate that I know I'm not alone in this and that these complicated feelings are something a lot of you probably also feel, but it also sucks that we feel this way about it, because I don't think we should have to. I don't think it should be a stressful thing. Because it absolutely sucks that you can almost feel like you've scammed yourself, or that even that you've been scammed just in general, because you kind of have. And I know that when I go to these concerts, I'm going to have the best time, and I'm really going to enjoy it, and I'm going to kind of forget that I paid that price, because it's in a year's time, you know, I've already paid for it. But at the same time, I fed into this whole thing, and I'm not helping stop it. But then we also have to look at the ticket distributors and the way they take advantage of the fans. They are the ones who let resellers sell the tickets at these extraordinarily high prices. They're the ones who rarely get tickets into the hands of the fans, and they tend to get them into the hands of scammers, and they are the ones who are ruining concerts. Like recently I saw a tweet about Lana Del Rey's recent concert, I think in Texas, and the pit, kind of empty. It wasn't that packed, it was not squished, it was not that busy, and it's because of scammers, because they'd snatched up all these tickets and tried to sell them at these high prices, but no one would pay, and therefore they're ruining concerts for not only us, the fans, but also the artists. Because who are they going to perform to if no one can afford to go? Then as well, I sometimes fall into this thing of wondering how much artists have control over ticket prices and how much are they to blame. And whilst I believe that artists get a say in the face value of tickets, I think that's where it ends for them. I don't think they get much say in anything else. I definitely say the bigger the act, the more you assume they have the control over the ticket prices. And I do kind of believe in that. Smaller artists I don't think have much of a say, but also they're not the problem that we're talking about. Like, they're not really a part of this problem. As I'm saying, with the driver error, their tickets are around £20, if that. At the end of the day, though, tickets are negotiated between the promoter and the venue. So I think it's definitely someone within the teams that is negotiating these prices, and that could be looked at maybe further as to why these prices are getting so high. But then again, it's a vicious cycle, because even if an artist wanted to go against Ticketmaster or up against them, they are so powerful that it's hard to do this. Because this was a big thing back in the day with a band called Pearl Jam. They did not like the way Ticketmaster was charging the prices. They weren't a fan of the service charges. They wanted to know, like, if they could print them on the tickets so fans could see what they were paying for, and they kind of denied it. And Pearl Jam tried to find another way to go around selling their tickets. I think they tried to do it on their own, individually on their own website or something. But Ticketmaster also have this thing where they have a hold of the venues, and artists can't then perform at these venues if they're not selling their tickets through Ticketmaster, because these venues are tied to Ticketmaster, and it could lead to lawsuits, and it's just not good for anyone involved then on their end. And I believe it's most venues that Ticketmaster has this control over, which means even for artists nowadays, and even the big ones, it's really hard to ever take a stance against them, because there are barely any venues that aren't either promoted or chosen by Live Nation, who are also Ticketmaster or Ticketmaster. Another thing is, some people might question, why can't artists just sell tickets on their websites, like, in the merch store or something, or just their own little section on the website? But when you look at this realistically, I think it'd be very difficult and very expensive to do, because it'd be really difficult for a small startup to manage that kind of traffic on their website. You've seen how poorly Ticketmaster handles it, and they're a big corporation who was supposed to be built for this, and they do it poorly still. So I can't imagine the kind of chaos it would be if a small startup tried to sell tickets on a website with such a high demand, especially if you were like Taylor Swift or Olivia Rodrigo or Billie Eilish. I just wish, though, that I could see more artists standing up for their fans in terms of this, in these situations, because it's kind of getting irritating feeling like fans are being ignored when this is a real issue that your fans are facing. And I just don't think it should be expected for us just to turn like a blind eye to this and just press pay, even though I do, and I know I do. I really appreciate, though, Billy Joel, and how he has done this thing since 2014 or even before that. And I have his quote here. He said, "We never sell front rows. We hold those tickets at just about every concert. For years, the scalpers got the tickets and would scalp the front row for ridiculous amounts of money. Our tickets are cheap, under $100, some in the $80, the highest is about $150. That was a long time ago, but I think he still does it. And that was an example of an artist using their power to help out their fans and stand up for them. And he didn't make it a place where only the rich could afford to go to the front. He is definitely someone that could be making a ton more money by selling these front row tickets to his fans and making them buy them and kind of milking them for what he wants to gain. But he himself said, "I'd look down and see rich people sitting there. I called them gold chainers. Who the heck are these people? Where are the real fans?" He then added, "We now hold those tickets, and I send my road crew out to the back of the room when the audience comes in, and they get people from the worst seats and bring them into the front rows. This way, you've got people in the front row that are really happy to be there, real fans." So, all in all, it's not impossible for artists to try and make a change themselves, even if it's like the smallest one like this, but it really does make a difference. They too can do something about this growing issue. But I don't know, it's been 30 minutes. I could ramble on forever, and I think I need to shut up at this point. Let's continue this conversation in the comments down below. What do you think about this? What are your thoughts on the situation? Is there a solution? Let me know. I'm looking forward to see what you all think, and I'll leave that there. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a nice rest of your day. Let me know will I see you at the Guts World Tour or the Eras Tour.